So welcome to Be Calm and Carry On. We're here with It's Mental and Age UK Lancashire. Just like to, how did this come about? Like, why are you starting this podcast?
Well, I'll answer this. So myself and Stephen met up talking about another piece of work we were looking at, and then obviously the coronavirus hit. So we kind of thought, let's be proactive. Let's do something we hope will give people some handy tips and genuine help whilst potentially in isolation. And here we are, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just come out on the press that it was obviously the over 70s were in 28-day isolation.
Yeah, as one of the risk groups.
Yeah, so obviously that was of concern for a lot of people. And also people, in the 60s and 50s, which is the demographic you have, is a cause for concern for all of us. So really, naturally what we do is self-help and preventional courses and programs, and really building that social connection again. It felt a perfect match to the stats that are being kicking out from Age UK and what we can offer in giving advice and tips.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stats we talked about, a lot of, as a charity, we have a major stat in Lancashire, which is 35,000 people or older people are said to be chronically lonely. And there's been some evidence to say that that's actually as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day on someone's health. So obviously, when you hear that the over 70s age group are at the at-risk category and potentially going to be isolated for up to 12 weeks, that kind of rang some alarm bells for us as a charity, because that number potentially will increase, and perhaps those people aren't prepared for that isolation. So hopefully, like I say, that the collaboration here will give people some good advice and some coping mechanisms, maybe.
Correct, yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a series of podcasts, so we're going to bring different techniques, tools that you can take away and implement on an everyday basis. We're going to bring professional speakers in, giving their version of things, their experiences, and like we said, they're giving their coping mechanisms in their specialism, really. So hopefully when people are listening, they'll hear a few aspirational stories, advice, and really getting probably some trusted news from some trusted sources.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's one of those things that will develop as time goes on. Obviously, we're at the very start of it at the moment of the isolation period for the over 70s. It's looking like the rest of the country might end up in that situation with everything closing around it. So I think the podcast and the advice that we give will probably develop as we know more about the situation, and as people probably contact us as a charity, and perhaps It's Mental as well with some issues or some questions. Hopefully we'll be able to give them the answers or advise them or guide them.
Or signpost them in the right direction. Yeah, definitely.
Using our experts and other sources.
Fantastic. So make sure to stay tuned, and like I said, follow all our social medias to keep up with all the when the episodes are going to be coming out. But hopefully you guys listening should get a bit of value from this, and I'm looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.